is actually going to win FNCS Grand Finals this season? It's time for the most controversial video of the whole season, where I actually give my top 10 list for the exact placements I think everybody is going to have in FNCS Grand Finals. Hitting 100,000 subscribers would be like winning FNCS to me. So if you want to help me to be able to win FNCS, please just subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Use code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop to support me even more. Follow me on Twitter for constant updates about the channel. Let's get straight into today's video. All right, so I'm going to start off with 3 honorable mentions on some teams that I think can sneak into the top 10 list. I just don't have them on my top 10. First off, I have Alex and Worthy, the OCE boys. Now, Alex and Worthy have only been able to make the finals of the Duo Cash Cup one time, and they placed top 16 in it. But just recently in the FNCS Major 3 upper bracket in round 3, they won it. And this is a team that has literally won FNCS on OCE multiple times. So it's not like this is their first ever grand finals or anything like that. This team has so much experience in grand finals lobbies. Obviously nothing compared to how difficult this FNCS is about to be, but this is still a very good team, and I wanted to at least give them an honorable mention. My next honorable mention is a team that has been on an absolute hot streak recently, and that is Mongrel and Mr. Savage. Now, I do think Mongrel and Mr. Savage are going to qualify for the LAN event. I just don't have them in my current top 10, but they got 6th in a recent Duo Cash Cup, as well as they have gotten 15th in a Duo Cash Cup. They also placed very good in FNCS heats. They were very consistent the whole time, and they dominated off spawning. The only reason why I don't have them in my top 10 list is just because I feel like they're not going to be uncontested all of grand finals. I think at least one team will surprise con them. So I think they will have a couple of 0-point games, which really hurts your chances to be able to place inside of the top 10. This is definitely a team that could prove me wrong though, and just go out there and absolutely dominate in FNCS. But there's just so many good teams that I can't put them in my top 10. My final honorable mention is Victor V and Paper. Now, this is honestly a very underrated team. They have qualified for almost every single Duo Cash Cup finals, getting 3rd place in one of them, 11th place in another one, and they also finished 4th place in FNCS heats. If I had to give like a dark horse pick for a team that I think could surprise everybody and place like top 5 in FNCS, it would definitely be this team right here. Let's get into my official top 10 list though. All right, so in 10th place, I have Pink and Miro. Now, Pink and Miro are honestly a team that started off the season a little bit slow, and they don't have like any crazy placements this season. Their best placements are like 3rd place in the recent FNCS heats, and then like 6th place in a Duo Cash Cup finals. But we both know that Miro really starts trying when FNCS Grand Finals officially start. He's one of the best Grand Finals players of all time. He is arguably one of the greatest players of all time. I'm pretty sure he's at like 5 or 6 FNCS wins right now. So if there's anyone who knows how to get the job done, it is that guy. And then he is playing with Pink, who is a very experienced IGL as well. This is just one of the most experienced teams in Grand Finals. I have no doubt they'll be able to pull off a top 10, and for my list, I have them in exactly 10th. All right, in 9th place, I have Quanti and Japco. Now, I feel like in every single like FNCS Grand Finals lobby, there's always that one team that like not very many people would expect for them to be in the top 10. So I tried to include that in my list as well. Now, you might be wondering, how are they on this list? They haven't really placed like that crazy in any tournaments. Well, if you really look at it, they placed 5th in a Duo Cash Cup finals, 5th place in the FNCS heats, and most of the season they were contested. But if you look at their drop map, they are completely uncontested going into grand finals. Quanti is one of the smartest IGLs in the game, and Yapko is a very underrated fighter as well. If there was like a little bit of a lesser known team that I'm going to pick to be inside of my top 10, it is going to be these guys right here. All right, in 8th place might honestly be a team I am a little bit underrating here. There's just so many good teams that it's so hard to rank them, but I have Reet and Rituals. Now, Reet and Rituals have been playing like pretty consistently good all season. They've got an 8th place in Duo Cash Cup finals, 2nd place in FNCS qualifier finals, 8th place in another Duo Cash Cup finals, as well as they got 2nd place in last season's FNCS grand finals. So having them in 8th might be very low for them, but I want you guys to comment down below your top 10 list as well, because to me, this is one of the hardest top 10 lists I've ever had to make. 7th place, I have Cooper and Kanata. Now, this is another team that started off the season kind of slow. They weren't even duoing with each other for like the first 2 Duo Cash Cups, but recently they placed 2nd place in Duo Cash Cup finals and 4th place in the Duo Cash Cup finals. The only reason why I don't have them higher on this list is they didn't have as good of a heats as I was expecting them to. I think this team is still a no doubt lock to be in the top 10 though, and if you have them anything higher than 7, I wouldn't argue it, but I don't think they'll place anything lower than a 7th. In 6th place, I have Bugha and Aviv. Now, Bugha and Aviv are a team that's placed 2nd place Duo Cash Cup finals, 4th place Duo Cash Cup finals, and then they just recently placed 2nd place in FNCS heats, being able to get a win as well to auto-qual them straight into grand finals. You all know how good Bugha is. You all know how consistent Bugha has been throughout his whole career in FNCSs, and the last like good FNCS grand finals placement he had was with Aviv as well. So I think Bugha gets finally back into that top 10 of FNCS. place, and I think he is going to place 6th. All right, it's time to get a little spicy now. We got the top 5 list, and in 5th place, I have a team that could surprise a lot of you guys for how high I have been on them all season, but I have Batman Booga and Rapid in 5th place. Now, if you've watched my channel, you know how much I've talked about this team, and you know how high I've been on this team all season. They've dominated Duo Cash Cups, they've won multiple of them, and they are going to be uncontested at Grim Gate in Grand Finals. I just think a little bit of the pressure might get to them now because they have placed well in a LAN event, they have placed well in Grand Finals before, but this is the first time there's like real expectation on them to do good, and I think that a little bit of that pressure will get to them. Obviously, a top 5 is not bad though. I'm pretty sure that would almost be like both of their best FNCS placements ever. I just am not ready to say that this team is like ready to win an FNCS yet. This is definitely one of the hardest teams to predict because they have been so good all season, and there is really like no reason why you couldn't put them in your top 3. I just feel like there is still 4 teams that are significantly better than them in Grand Finals lobbies. In 4th place, I have Acorn and Cole. Now, Acorn and Cole is honestly a team that has really came up my rankings recently. They absolutely dominated FNCS heats, winning both of the heats that they played in. They placed 2nd, 3rd, and 6th in the Duo Cash Cup Finals this season. They placed 5th place in the last FNCS Grand Finals, and then I'm pretty sure they won the FNCS Grand Finals before that. And when you have one of the best IGLs in the game, as well as one of the best fraggers in the game, like it is just always going to be a recipe for success. This team is already qualified for the LAN event as well, so they don't have like the whole stress on them like needing to place in the top 14. They can play however they want to play, and they have a lot of people that have been doubting them recently because some people were saying that this team is washed and things like that because they started in lower bracket, but I still think this team is going to pull off a top 5 and specifically a 4th place. All right, in 3rd place, I have Clix and Vino. Now, a lot of people might be saying, how do you not have Clix and Vino winning FNCS? This is Clix's season and all that sort of stuff, and I still think that this is going to be Clix's best FNCS placing season ever, getting a 3rd place. I just don't think that he is going to be able to pull off the win, and that is mainly because of the recent addition of mini crash pads again. Before the mini crash pads got added, this team was just absolutely dominating height. Besides like the battle of high ground with like Peterbot and Pollo, they were kind of getting it off of them a couple of times, but whenever this team would be able to get on height, it was very hard to take it from them. This team has really been struggling on high ground, and that was basically like their whole game plan to be able to win games. They've won a Duo Cash Cup Finals this season. They've placed top 5 in another one. They just placed 6th to be able to qualify into Grand Finals and FNCS heats. I still think they'll be able to pull off a top 3. I just don't think it is going to be the season that Clix wins FNCS still, unfortunately, but I think it will still be a very respectable finish. All right, in 2nd place might be the most surprising one to you guys. I have Tayson and Yamzo in 2nd place. They've gotten 3rd place Duo Cash Cup Finals, 1st place Duo Cash Cup Finals, 6th place Duo Cash Cup Finals, and they won a game to auto-qual them into FNCS Grand Finals. Obviously, Tayson is like one of the most winningest players in Fortnite history. He has over $1 million in earnings from like no LAN events. And then Yamzo has just been like one of the most underrated like good fraggers that Fortnite has had in the last like couple of years. And you all know that Tayson really starts trying when FNCS Grand Finals start. He can have like the worst placing season ever and still be able to do good in FNCS Grand Finals. Now, even though they haven't really won like every single tournament and like been super dominant all season, this team has placed in the top 3 to top 5 in almost every single finals lobby they have played in. I had them as my win prediction before the season even started, and it took me all the way up until like 2 days before Grand Finals starts to change that, but I still do think that I have them in 2nd place in FNCS Grand Finals. Well, you guys have to know who my number 1 pick is going to be then. In 1st place for FNCS Grand Finals, I have them going back to back, and that is Peterbot and Pollo. And no, this is not just Peterbot Glaze because he followed me back on Twitter, nothing like that. This team has truly been the best team in the game for like the past couple of weeks. They got 1st place in the recent Duo Cash Cup Finals, winning 4 out of the 6 games in it. They were able to get a win in FNCS heats, and they were dominating like almost every single game they played in heats. 3rd place Duo Cash Cup Finals, 1st place in FNCS week 2 qualifiers. Literally for like the past month, this team has been by far the best team on the region. People want to underrate them this season just because they started off a little bit slowly, but after the Nitro got nerfed, this team was like completely back and they look as dominant as ever. They're the best high ground team on the region with the best AR in the game, so they can just apply constant pressure to low ground the whole time. This team can probably win. I'm going to predict right now, this team will win at least 4 games in Grand Finals. I want you guys to all leave your top 10 predictions in the comment section down below, and you have to at least have Peterbot and Pollo in your top 3 for how good they look right now. Other than that though, remember, if you want to help me to be able to win FNCS, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Trying to hit 100,000 subscribers around here. Use code KDOG in the Fortnite item shop if you want to support me even more. YouTube says you'll enjoy one of these 2 videos up on the screen right now, so if you haven't watched them, just make sure you go check them out. It really does help support the channel. Thank God for another day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.